Merry Christmas, everyone. One of my kids today, for their Christmas gift, received a video card upgrade. So this one is a ASUS RTX2060. And the video card seems to be a little bit bigger than what will fit in the case. What we're going to do is modify it to accommodate the larger card. I'll go ahead and start pulling the side off so you guys can see the one that's in there right now. So here's the current card. It's a NVIDIA N760. It's an MSI card. And I'll show you the size difference with the ones that we're going to try to put in there. So here's the new card. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of difference in size between the original one and the one that we're going to try to put in there. The issue that we're going to have is there isn't enough clearance here. What the plan is going to be is to eliminate this bar section and then move this USB and power switch down. These are the tools that we're going to be using. So this is just a standard air saw. I modified a hacksaw blade, cut it down so that I can have a little bit better maneuverability. You can see it there. You can cut this with a set of tin snips. Now when you're working with any kind of metal shavings and you have electronics, you need to make sure you cover all of this. What I'm going to use to cover that is going to be just a garbage bag. Well, first I need to make sure I get this thing off. Get this out of the way. Also want to take this fan off. Move that off to the side. So that should be good enough right there. Hooked up our air. Next up would be to cut the top section. Gently blow out any residue that you might have. All right, next thing, test fit to see if the card's going to fit. So there you go. So that looks like it's going to fit right there. Next thing we're going to have to do is move this down a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take the card back out, modify this slightly so that we can move this a little bit further down. Switch back to the air saw. All right, now all we're going to do is I'm going to cut these off. So what that's going to allow me to do is, see these little hooks right here? Allows me to move this a little bit further down. The original hole is up here. Now we drill the new hole further down. Next thing needs to be done is to re-drill this hole. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these, a center punch. And then use a drill bit that is just slightly smaller than the screw you're trying to put into that space. Now let's tap that hole. What we're going to use is, so here's the original screw. We're going to use a little, right, so that one fits. It's a 0.8. It is metric. Now what I'll do is go into my tap kit and find a 0.8 with a similar diameter to this screw. Next will be to tap it. So get yourself the appropriate tap. Test fit your screw. And go ahead and reinstall your power and USB switch. All right, now you just want to blow off your work area. Remove your plastic bag. Next thing you want to do, reinstall the video card. And if it looks good, go ahead and screw it down. All right, the next thing that you want to check and see if you have any issues with the front cover. In this case, I believe there's going to be an issue right here because this is sticking out way further than this control box. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the case fan and check and see what additional modifications need to be done to make this all work. Don't forget to plug your card in. check the fitment of the front cover. Okay. So you can see that's a problem. We're going to have to trim some of this so that the card can fit. This particular case has a little grill and some tabs that are folded on the inside. So I'm going to fold these tabs up and remove this grill. We got the grill off. So here's our front grill. And then we're going to have to modify this side. So guys, I'm going to get some measurements and mark this up. So these are the measurements. I'm going to cut that square out. Kind of hard to tell here with the light. But this part here, I'm going to remove all of that. I'm going to do that with the jigsaw, guys. Let me reposition the camera and we'll get to cut. To make these cuts, we're going to use a jigsaw. Make sure to put some kind of protection on the bottom so you don't scratch up the plastic that you're working on. I'm going to use a file, clean up these edges a little bit, and then we'll test fit it. So use a Now we need to modify this bottom section. So I'm going to have to trim the underneath this a little bit, and hopefully it'll snap in. So for this part, just going to use set little cutters. You can see in here there's this little groove. I'm going to cut this groove off. Let's test fit it again. Okay, it looks like now what we need to do is create a bevel. Now what I have to do now is create a bevel underneath that piece of plastic there. What the tool I'm going to use for that is going to be an air Dremel. So this is what I'm going to use right here. All right, now that we got this all cut out, notch this. See real close. test fit this. So there's the test fit, guys. See the cards right here. The only thing left would be to modify the screen. So I'm going to have to probably remove some of the screen here to then put it back on this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this cover back off, put the screen back on. I'll cut it using a set of tin snips, and we'll check it out and see what it looks like. All right, so here it is, guys. All done. Super flush fit. The only thing left now to do is to modify this side panel. So I'm going to have to cut one of these rails. Go ahead and do that, and then put it back together. To do that, we're going to use an air saw. First cut right there. Now we're going to cut down. Use the file, clean it up. Now we just need to put it back together. Guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. Turn your notification bells on and leave me a comment.